Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear, and this is going to be my third and final video on my favorite handguns reference for 2010. And you notice I didn't say top 10. I couldn't even get close to top 10 in this category. It's my favorite category of handguns. I did have to make some hard cuts there, but basically I just kept putting guns on the table until I ran out of blue cloth. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to be going over some guns that I've already showed in videos, so I'm going to try to kind of go through those kind of quickly so I can have more time to talk about the other guns. Alright, first up is some 1911s, and the first one is truly a jewel. This is of course a Colt 1911 and 45 ACP. And man, I tell you what, it's been a good shooting gun. And as you noticed, like in my other video, yes, I've lost the front sight on it. I've got to stake a new one on there. I had a little bit of work done to this gun for reliability and accuracy, and it really is a good shooter. When I looked up the serial number of the gun to find out just about when it was made back in the 30s. And it has on the side, it's on the side of the frame, is stamped United States property. And I can't help but wonder if this gun was first issued to an FBI agent or another federal government agency, a G-man of the time, so to speak, who battled the motorized bandits like Dillinger and Bonnie and Clyde and things of that nature. At any rate, the next gun up is another Colt 1911. This is a Series 70 gun. This gun I've had a lot of work done to. It's been heavily customized. And I used this for competitions for years. I used to shoot a lot of bowling pin matches, and I basically set this gun up just for that purpose. And it's in 45 ACP. I've got some Pachmayr wraparound grips with the finger grooves in there. It just feels good in the hand and adjustable sights. And it's a great shooting gun. The next gun is another 1911. It's my newest 1911, I guess you should say. This is a Kimber Gold Combat, and it's in 45. This is a custom shop gun, and it is just an excellent gun. It has tritium sights on it also, and it has all the bells and whistles. And I tell you what, great shooting gun. Now next up, another 1911. This is the Night Tac by Para Ordnance. And this has the wide frame, 14 round capacity magazines. You can get 15, and I do have some 15 round magazines. Also has the LDA trigger. This is one of the best shooting guns I have. It is one of the most accurate handguns that I own. I really like this gun, and it also put tritium sights on that, and the Surefire X300 light. And this is usually the gun that I keep loaded at the house here. Now I'm handling a lot of guns, and yes, I have went through these guns and safety checked them before the video, so there's no reason for anybody to get their panties all in a wad. Alright, the next gun up is a SIG, and I've done a video on this. This is the P220 Supermatch. And this is a good gun, and I know I was kind of hard on this gun in my video, mainly because of the squishy trigger that it has. But quite frankly, it's a very good shooting gun, and my real problems is with SIG USA, not the gun. Alright, next up is a gun that I haven't had on camera before. This is a EAA Witness Hunter, and it's in 10mm, and it has a 6-inch barrel, and I think it's 15 round capacity. And I tell you what, it's got a good set of adjustable sights. This is a very accurate 10mm. It's based off of a CZ75 style of gun, but it is single action mode of operation. And I tell you what, it's a great gun. I bought this gun specifically for hunting. I have been fortunate to take 2 deer with it. Great shooting gun, I tell you what. And next up, it's another 10mm and yet another 1911. Okay, this is a Kimber stainless target and 10mm. I've put tritium sights on this gun, and I tell you what, and some Pachmayr wraparound grips. This is a good shooting gun. Really like this gun a lot. I don't know what more to say. I really love 1911s, and I have an affinity towards 10mm, if you can't tell already. Up next is another 10mm, and this is a Glock. This is the Glock 20. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this gun. I mean, there's been a gazillion videos about Glocks, and yes, it is durable. Yes, it is reliable. Yes, it has good accuracy. I have put tritium adjustable sights on this gun, and this is a gun that I often carry nowadays as a camp gun. It's a great gun to have around camp when you're hunting, fishing, camping, whatever. You could do a lot worse than a good old Glock 20. Now next up is something other than a 10mm or a 45. I know most of my guns that I have out here are larger caliber guns, especially in this full-size service model guns. And that's because that's two calibers that I really like. They're very effective, and I don't have a whole lot of guns, large frame guns, that are in some of the more minor calibers like 40 Smith & Wesson and 9mm. But this is one right here. This is a Springfield XDM. It's in 40 Smith & Wesson. And man, I tell you what, this has been a great gun. This is a very accurate gun. And you know, I know there's a lot of controversy, folks going back and forth between Glocks and XDs on durability and things of that nature. And gotta tell you, this has been an extremely reliable pistol for me so far. I have yet to have a malfunction. And I'll be honest with you, this is a lot more accurate than any Glock that I own. So thumbs up for the XDM. It's an excellent gun. Next up is truly one of my favorites. This is an H&K USP 40 Expert. Okay, it does have a longer barrel and slide. It's a 5.19 inch barrel, maybe, if I remember that correctly. At any rate, this gun was set up as basically a competition or tactical gun. I have added a jet funnel system to this, and quickly, the jet funnel system is basically a magazine well, and it allows you to use a larger magazine. But I will give you a caution, in that if you decide to buy the jet funnel, you will not be able to use the standard magazines that come with the USP. They're not long enough. So you might want to think about that, because as you know, anything H&K costs a lot of money. Now this is the, I guess you could classify this as a variant 1 and 2 because it has ambidextrous controls, but basically safety, on safe is up, fire is down, and then it also, the lever is also a decocking lever. I have once again added tritium sights to the gun, and they are adjustable. And I'll tell you what, this really is a good shooting gun, and it's one of my absolute favorites. Now next up is the Smith & Wesson M&P 40. And I bought this gun when it first came out, and it hadn't been that long ago. I don't know, maybe five years more. I'm not real sure. But you know, when I was reading about this gun and the magazines, and some of the folks that write the articles actually had some input in that, this was designed to be a 40 Smith & Wesson first, and then they later converted it to 9mm. And it has basically the same type of firing system as a Glock or an XD. It's a striker fired gun. But you know what, I really like the ergonomics of the gun. I really think that really makes the gun. It has more of an angle of a 1911 than a Glock does, and it has the adjustable back straps and the rounded front strap, which probably I like because of 1911s. I don't know, but I do prefer it. The gun fits very well in the hand, and it's a good shooting gun. You know, I really think the M&Ps they're the new kids on the block, but they're gaining popularity, and I think they will continue to get even more popular. Good guns. Now the next gun is another 45, and this is the HK 45. This was the gun they basically designed for the Army trials that never took place. Okay, it's a 10-round 45. It's an excellent shooting gun. This is along the same lines as their P30. This is the new design for H&K, a little bit different, set aside from the USP line. And I tell you what, I really like it. It's a good shooting gun. The stippling on the frame is really great. It's kind of sort of like skateboard tape, and it has adjustable back straps, and I tell you what, really feels good in the hand. Of course, it also has a Picatinny rail on there, which is a absolute great departure from the company's universal rail that really wasn't universal at all. Now next up is the only 9mm that I have on the table. Had a couple others, but this is my favorite. This is a Beretta 92 FS. And I bought this gun in the early 90s, and you know what? On YouTube it seems like this gun is often maligned. And I'm not really sure why. This has been an excellent shooting gun for me. I've put, man, just a boatload of ammo through this thing, and I've not had any issues with it. It's a good shooting gun. It's very accurate. It's big, but it's a service-size gun. Okay, it's supposed to be big. You can handle it well, you can shoot it well, and it's dependable. You know, what more can you ask for? And the last gun here, this is another SIG. It is the 226, and this is in 40 Smith & Wesson. And this happens to be the Equinox model. You know, it came with some real pretty gray laminate grips, but I've often had problems with the screws coming loose, and I know some friends of mine who also have that problem with the plastic grips or the wooden grips that come with SIG. And you know, you can Loctite them or something of that nature, but I put these Hogue grips on there. I like the tackiness of the Hogue grip, and really changed the way I like this gun. It's a very good shooting gun. I think the P226 is probably one of the more favored models for Sig Sauer. You know, the Equinox is okay, it's pretty, but this is a good functioning gun. It also has tritium sights. The front sight has the fiber optic in the front with the tritium in the back. It really helps you pick it up during the daylight. And I don't know, what more can you say? It's a great shooting gun. Now, I got to tell you right off the bat, I do prefer large frame or service size pistols to their smaller counterparts. You know, I think that people really should give these size guns, these bigger guns, more of a chance. I see a lot of videos with the compacts and the subcompacts, and I really think that folks need to think about the larger frame guns. You know, for a long time, the carry gun that I had was one of these 1911s. Okay, and that's a government model steel frame gun. It's a big, heavy gun. And there's always a price that you're going to have to pay when you carry a gun. If it's small and lightweight, it's going to be harder to shoot. And I really don't think you should start there. I really think that you should start with the full-size gun and learn how to shoot, build those good fundamentals. And then later on, once you've mastered the larger gun, you know, if you still want to get a smaller gun, get one. You know, my father was always quick to drop a quote. I don't know where he got this quote from, but basically it goes like this. Carrying a gun is not supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be comforting. And often I try to carry a larger frame gun. I know there's several folks that's been on YouTube that said the same thing. But you know, sometimes I do have smaller guns, and sometimes my wardrobe, it's a little easier for me to carry the smaller gun. But listen to this. Get the bigger gun and learn how to shoot it well. And you know, then try the smaller gun if you want to. You know, if I didn't have the smaller guns and if I wasn't competent with them, then I would gear my wardrobe around the larger guns. Okay? And that means that, you know, you may not be able to wear the, you know, elastic band shorts and a tank top in the summertime. Okay? Well, then that's a price that you pay if you're going to have the responsibility of carrying a gun. So that's really all I had to say. I thank you for watching, and as always, shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.